Good morning. I'm John Casper with the Oshkosh Chamber, and again, welcome to the our second part and final part of a two-part series. Getting started with video marketing, presented by Michael Raymond, the president of Imagine Road Productions. Michael's with us again. Started a week ago on part one, and now we're going to talk a little more about creating, editing, publishing your own videos. Talking about affordable editing solutions and start thinking about creating your own welcome video. So I know Michael had some good starting ideas for everybody last week, and had some homework assignments that I think hopefully everybody turned in on time, and everyone got an A on those. So Michael, why don't you take it away?
Hey, good morning, everybody. So welcome to part two. So I did get several videos that were uploaded, and so thanks for that. The one thing I forgot to mention is if you could, there's a couple people like Covey and Crescent Bronze. If you could email me, and then I can share my feedback with you on those. Two of the other people they did email me. I was able to share with them some feedback on it. So if you could just email me, imagineroadmedia@gmail.com, and then I'll share. I took some notes on your videos, watched them a couple times, and I can give you some feedback. But also, what I'm going to do is I'm going to address some of the things that I saw within this this next section that we're going to talk about, which will be on video editing. So and again, if at any time you have any questions as we go along, we're going to be getting into some pretty dense material on video editing, video SEO, search engine optimization. We'll talk about publishing. And so if you have any questions anywhere along the line, feel free to use that chat button to ask your question. And so I'm going to stop, after, at relevant points, after there's a lot of information, just to make sure that, that you're keeping up with me on all of that. So let me go ahead and share my screen. This will stop others screen sharing. Yes, okay. Okay. I think I practiced a little bit this morning because the last time I did this webinar, there was something that didn't quite work out right. So hopefully everything is going to work out. But anyway, so with video editing, so now we have our video, our basic video that we've filmed, using the principles that we talked about last week, and now we're ready to edit it. Now, so a lot of people ask me, well, can I just skip the editing process? And the answer is, yes, you can. I do a lot of filming, with my smartphone, where I do like a LinkedIn video marketing tips type series. Sometimes I just want to film, just something real simple and upload it, and that's all possible. The problem is you really then have to make sure you don't have a lot of ums and ahs, and I say a lot, or I mean there's some things that I say that can be distracting. So if I'm doing little clips that I don't want to do any editing for and just want to upload, and maybe it's even just a message to someone. So sometimes I like to just send email messages to people that's a video. Hey, how's it going? I really enjoyed what you were talking about, or something like that. It might not need editing. And then I can just use my camera function and I can upload it very easily. But other times, like if we're trying to put together a polished welcome video, for instance, which is what we're talking about, then there's some polishing needed. And I'll get into the reasons why, you would want to use video editing in just a second. But there's tons and tons of video editing programs, for you to use. And a lot of them are free. So, the industry standard, besides, well, there's a lot of industry standards, but Adobe Premiere Pro is very popular, but it costs money and it takes a lot of time to learn. trying to figure out all the, the keyboard shortcuts and, different things. It just takes time. I mean, in any video editing program is going to take a little time to learn how to use. But, you have free ones, DaVinci Resolve. That's an open source program you can download. I actually met the creator of that, who's from the United Kingdom. Windows Movie Maker. We have iMovie, of course, that comes standard on most Mac computers. We have Pinnacle is a Sony product. We got Hollywood Studio is another Sony product. These are more consumer type editing programs, very simple. And there's many others. There's a lot of online video editors that you can use as well. And each of these different programs, they all have extensive YouTube training out there. So pretty much, even with I use Sony Vegas Pro, and basically any problem that I have, and this goes for any of these programs as well, you can type in a Google search or YouTube search and find extensive, more than one video to explain what you need to do. Or if you come into a problem with something, it's not working right, chances are, 99.9% other people have experienced that problem as well. So it's very easy to just do a Google search and find someone to explain to you, how to get around the problem you're having. So, so we're going to go ahead and I'll open up my my program here. Oh, here we go. Okay. Do new screen share. Okay. Okay, so here's Sony Vegas Pro. Here's the dashboard. And so what I did was I ended up I took a video. I actually had a video that is just new on my website. I'm going to be tweaking it and adjusting it, but I decided I would use that kind of as our sample. But you can see down here, I mean, so there's, and I'm sorry, I'm not going to be able to get into this in way, a lot of depth. I mean, you could spend a lot of time learning, but these are basically all of my media files over here. This is my project media section. And so, and this is my timeline. And so this is my preview window here. And so, what I did was, and I told you I would do this because I wanted you to see what the difference would be between using an onboard microphone and like an external microphone, like I use like the Tascam DR40. So first, let's just get into this. I'm gonna play the. Okay. So what you do is you bring in all of your video content, from your welcome video. And so this is all my video, and you can see I did already cut it a couple times. And so, and the reason why, I mean, you shouldn't cut it until you sync the external video to, to the main content. And the reason is because once you start slicing and dicing it all, the relationship between your external audio and your main audio is going to change. Now, there are some, more extensive, video editing programs that will automatically sync your audio, for you. And what I do is I and this works pretty simple for me, but what I do is I look at these waveforms. These are the audio waveforms. And if you can expand it out. And with this, you can use a shortcut by just using your mouse window, your mouse wheel. But basically, you can sync up, where the start of that waveform is, and you can go, what you try to do is you try to find a flat spot, and then you put that there, and then you look to see how that, so you can see that it doesn't match up exactly. So then I would need to move this just slightly. So, okay. So, and then you can pick another area. Now, sometimes, like if you have like multiple cameras and you have like a couple different external audio setups, I mean, it can be a little tedious, but I'll show you, in the end why it's important. So, so now the other thing is now you have to listen. So you listen to it. I'm going to try to move through this quickly, but anyway, so now you listen to it.
This is important. Our economy has been devastated, and we need to come back.
Okay, now, so I wasn't going to put that music in there yet because I want to add section by section so you can kind of see how it all comes together.
This is important. Our economy.
So you can see that both audio sections are going. And there's not this echo. Like, so if it wasn't really synced very well, you would hear this echo. And actually, I don't want to, I mean, you can hear that it does sound like it's synced up. So, okay, so now let me just show you the difference between the one to the other. So this is the inbound microphone.
This is important. Our economy has been devastated.
Such a not a positive statement, is it? So here we go.
This is important. Our economy has been devastated, and we need to come.
Okay, now it just dawned on me that there's a chance that maybe people aren't hearing that audio because there might have been a button that I didn't click. Did everybody hear that? If someone could raise their hand and let me know that they heard that, because I might not have clicked on the button to enable the computer audio. Okay, let me just see. Oh, great. Okay, thank you. Thank you for that. Okay, so, great. Okay, so anyways, let's just do that one more time just so you can kind of see the difference. And
This is important. Our economy has been devastated, and we need to come back strong, or else we face an uncertain future.
okay. Okay, so then let's just listen to this one again.
This is important. Our economy has been devastated, and we need to come back strong, or else we face an uncertain future.
Okay, so there's the difference between having an onboard microphone and using an external one. There's just a fuller sound. To me, it's just more pleasing. And so, sometimes I don't use external audio. If I'm just gonna upload a video clip, with my smartphone, I don't normally use external audio. But if I'm gonna put together more of a polished video or film someone, I do use this a Tascam DR40. Okay, so let me just minimize this a little bit. Okay, so the next thing, what I want to talk about is cuts. So the big reason why you would use a video editor is because you might have spaces in between. You might have quiet places that you want to cut. And part of this is you want to keep the tempo of your video moving forward. You want to, if you have lag times in it, then the reader or the viewer is going to get bored. And so it's all about keeping them engaged. So let me just kind of show you what that looks like. So if you were, right here, I cut out a spot and I did it already to try to save time, but there was like this quiet spot here, right here. And so I cut it out, but I want to show you what happens. So I cut it out, I moved everything over, and let's just see, I'll show you what it looks like then.
And comforting messaging that they need. You may have tried Facebook ads and Google ads and
we'll just
all
go
different
on
types
just
of
a couple
fads and
bit
marketing
here.
systems in the past, but have gotten limited to no results. Well, I'm here to tell you that video.
Now, it's not very apparent because I'm not moving my head a lot. I'm being pretty still. And I do encourage you, like if you're putting together a video, I encourage you not to move around a lot. I like to talk with my hands. And so a lot of times I end up with what's called a jump cut. And what that is basically is where, I'm talking, and then all of a sudden, my head's turned or something. I just want to see if it's noticeable in any of these spots.
Road Productions. For a limited time, I'm offering a
So anyway, there's different ways of dealing with it. You know, one way you can deal with it is by using a different focal, what's called a different, it's like a focal length. So like here, I did that, you know, so, you know, what I did was I went from, you know, kind of a zoomed in perspective, you know, where I'm zoomed in, and then
Road Productions. For a limited time, I'm offering a free.
You know, so that's a different focal length. You can also use two cameras, you know, where you're going back and forth between two different angles, which works. Now, the reason why, the other reason besides just dealing with jump cuts, the reason this is important is what I like to call the 10-second rule. And this is an important rule, and it might even be the 5-second rule. But the idea here is that you want every 5 to 10 seconds, you want something different for your viewer to see. Whether that's a different focal length, you know, zoomed in to being out, or you can also use pictures as well, images, other footage. It's called B-roll footage. You can use those. So one of the people that uploaded a video for me to take a look at, they were good in that they used some you know, additional footage or pictures, but the thing is if you're going to use pictures, you know, you want to make sure you have enough. So if you're trying to cover, you know, like a 1-minute section of you, and you don't want yourself to be seen, you know, the guideline is pictures should only be viewable for about 4 to 5 seconds. So so that would be 15 pictures per minute. So you would need enough. And you can also use footage. So here's what that would look like. So right now you can kind of see I'm going
messaging that they need. You may have tried.
Okay, so you might have seen that little bit of a jump there. You know, if I was going to use, you know, a picture for this other one, this is what, instead of, you can see how I brought it right up to the line where this cut is right here. And so
to no results. Well, I'm here to tell you that video marketing works.
I guess it would be helpful to engage this here. So
no results. Well, I'm here to tell you that video marketing works. I'm Michael.
So the thing with using pictures is that you want them to still retain this amount of animation to it. If you just put a picture out there and there's no movement, you know, everything is about movement and keeping things moving. And so sometimes, you know, there are times where I'll just use a still picture, but a lot of times also I'll put some animation to it. So like just kind of drag this one. And sometimes I'll use them, you know, pictures back to back. But again, what you want also is you want pictures that are going to really support your message. So things that are going to, you know, and it doesn't have to be like an overt type of message, but it could be something, you know, like that it has this emotional appeal that you want to get across to your viewers. So let's just look at this one.
Have gotten limited to no results. Well, I'm here to tell you that video marketing.
Okay. So like this picture, I use this picture because I'm talking about, you know, results. And all of these pictures I found on Pixabay, which is a free resource. So I didn't have to worry about copyright issues. I did also, these pictures over here are from Adobe Stock. I have an Adobe Stock account. So when you're looking at media, then, you know, to get into that just a little bit, you know, you really want to do some research and find things that are going to be pertinent. And as we were talking, the first 5 seconds of the video are what's going to really engage your viewer and help them to stick through it to the end. You know, I ended up, because I'm talking about COVID-19 and I'm talking about economics, what I wanted to get across was all of that, you know. And so I'll kind of show you what I used. And this is kind of not, it's still kind of in a draft form, so I might end up using different footage, but for now I chose something, you know, that I thought was relevant. So let me just show this to you.
This is important. Our economy has been devastated, and we need to come back strong, or else we face an uncertain future. We need to develop new strategies that will engage our clients with the supportive and comforting messaging that they need. You may have...
Okay, so notice the one thing about putting it together is notice, and this changes all the time as far as trending. There's different ways of doing it. So you could start off, a lot of people start off with their name. Hi, I'm Michael Raymond. This is what I do. But the thing about it is the trend right now, and it seems to be working pretty well, is to start off with the problem. So start with the problem you're having. And I think I talked about this a little bit last week. But so, and then once that's about, 24, so I'm spending 17 seconds talking about the problem. And then I finally show myself. And I talk a little bit more about, the issue. And then finally here, actually it was 38 seconds. That's where I introduce myself and who I am. And now with this, what I do is, and you can do this in different ways as well, but I usually include like a banner that comes in, and I animate it, and it comes in from the side. But here's how that looks.
I'm Michael Raymond. I'm a multimedia journalist and a video marketing strategist with...
And again, it would be really helpful if I actually engaged that, so that would work. So sorry about that.
I'm Michael Raymond. I'm a multimedia journalist and a video marketing strategist with Imagine Road Productions.
So now the reason for the banner is because I want them to not only hear me and hear what I do, but I also want them to see something. So I think it reinforces, what I'm saying. And then I also use, as far as a call to action, I also repeat it so that they can see it. So
marketing. Just click the link below to get started.
So, and one of the things that I wanted to reinforce was the idea of really having a strong call to action. And that's why I also, put together a banner for it. Click below. And this might be different, like if you're sharing this on a Facebook post or in LinkedIn or somewhere else, you might not have that link below for them to click. It might be that you have a box that says schedule appointment now, or whatever else. So be very specific, with your call to action. The other thing is I also like to include branding. So the branding matches, what I'm doing in other places as far as my website. So I want to be very, have that continuity of branding. The other thing that you can do is, again, some people put this, some people will have this, like after they'll present the problem, and then they'll have kind of like a little bit of an intro, like a motion graphic. And this doesn't have to be used, it just depends on, what you're going for. Sometimes I'll include this, and sometimes it'll be only like 5 seconds. This one is a little longer, but this is certainly something that you can put together. Now with motion graphics, you can often find free motion graphics, royalty free. They're free for you to use on YouTube, and you just type in free motion graphic intro, and you can find something. So this is one that I found, and I was able to kind of adapt, and I'll just show you in a second what that looks like. So.
This isn't...
Okay, so then it gets then into the problem. And so, that's just a one way of doing it. Now, the final thing that I want to talk about is using background music. And so, we have the background music for the intro, the motion graphic. I did also find some appropriate background music, that we can use. The thing, you have to be very careful because it's really easy to have the background music take over the video where you can't hear the message. And so what you need to do then is you need to balance the audio along with the background music. So for instance, I'm going to just show you, an instance where the background music is too loud, and you can kind of see for yourself.
This is important. Our economy has been devastated. We need to come back strong, or else we face an uncertain future.
Okay, so notice that, I mean, the background music does have kind of a catchy, beat to it, but it takes over the message a little bit, so I'm distracted a little bit by that background music. And so what I'll do then is I'll find a spot, where, to me, and I test this out on other people as well, but I find a spot where it's not going to take over.
This is important. Our economy has been devastated, and we need to come back strong, or else we face an uncertain future. We need to develop new strategies that will engage our clients with the supportive and comforting message.
Okay, so anyway, so that is that you have to kind of toggle back and forth and kind of find a spot that works for you, and then once you get it to where you want it, then of course, and you have all these elements in your video, you'll always then of course save it, but then you always then render it into the final video. And what this does is it takes all of those different parts, it puts it together into an MP4, which is MP4 is a very universal video format that you can use pretty easily on all the different platforms, but it puts it all together. And so once it's all rendered into that final video, you can't take that final video and pull it apart. You always have to then go back to these source files, which is whatever video editor you're using, and then you'll have to make adjustments here. So I had someone ask me about removing background music in an MP4 file, and it's just not possible because of the way you can eliminate, like with Audacity, you can filter out specific noises if they're just like one frequency or one pitch. But if you're trying to like filter out like someone talking, like for instance, I've filmed a stage production once, and I didn't realize it until the end where I had someone talking, and it was very destructive. But I wasn't easily able to filter it out. I figured out a way to manage it, but it was very difficult. So at this point, I want to stop and there was so much here. I just wanted to see if there was any questions. I'm sorry, a half hour has gone by already. I'm sorry, but are there any questions?
Yeah, Michael, we got one question, and it's
Okay.
it's kind of one that was kind of on my mind too.
Sure.
I look at this, and you have to be. It seems to be you need to be fairly technologically astute to do a lot of those things. So, what about somebody who's doesn't have that technology savvy?
Yeah.
If they were to go out to to you and ask you to create a video for them, I mean, any idea, or can you give any idea what it would cost to do a 20-30-second video for their website?
Yeah.
What kind of price range are you looking at?
Right. And it's the answer to that, is it depends. I mean, it's not a real clear answer, but the price range, usually it depends on how complex your what you want, basically, because it's usually dependent on how much time it's going to take me to do. So if it's just a very simple editing job, that might only take a couple hours, the cost would be very minimal. And in fact, what I've done lately now is I offer coaching where I help someone go through the process, and I walk them through the process, and I just charge like an hourly rate. But what I would encourage you to do is, I have this strategy session that I offer people as kind of like a consult, and we could take a look at exactly what you're looking for, and then I can give you kind of a range, because it could be anywhere from like, you're looking at like $500 to $2,500, dollars, but it just all depends on the complexity and all the different things that are involved, so. But like I said, I also offer coaching, and so I can help people walk through it. So I know it's not a real clear answer, but does that answer the question a little bit?
I think it gives people kind of an idea where, kind of ranges, and,
Sure.
it's whatever they are looking to invest in.
Sure, sure.
So those are right now, that's the only question
okay.
we have so far.
Okay.
Just again, reminding everybody, if you have a question, just, I'm going to be going through all those. So it's just, ask those away either on the chat or the Q&A tab, and we'll ask those as we go along. So I think we'll just, Michael, if you just want to continue, that would be.
Sure. Yeah. Let's go back to the PowerPoint slide. So, so what we're going to do then is we're going to just continue with the slides, and then at the end, because I'm going to try to get through this all real quickly, but what I want to do at the end is take you to a YouTube channel, kind of to look at analytics, because we're going to start talking about analytics and how to tell if your video is performing well, how to, what kind of changes you might need to make. So once you have your video completed and you've rendered it into the format that you want, it's important to get a critique on it. And I just added this slide this morning because I think it's really fundamental. Of course, like in the beginning, I told you that it's really important to get something out there so that you can see how it's going to perform. And then you can kind of make adjustments to it as needed based on, your viewers' behavior, as far as, if they're engaging with it or if not. But you also need to, before you even publish it, you need to get like some form of critique. And now, you can, from experience, I can tell you that, most of your really, really good friends and family are always going to tell you it looks excellent, beautiful, great job. As a critique, it doesn't really do a lot for us. It makes us feel good about ourselves and confident, but sometimes there's just different things about a video. And so someone needs to be able to, to feel comfortable sharing, what they think. The one thing, of course, I'll tell you is don't take anything personal. A lot of times we put a lot of time and effort into what we're creating. And so, if someone says something bad about it, like anything else, we tend to not feel good. So picking someone that can be really objective and constructive and helpful, that's important. So the other thing too is you can, one of the ways that you can get by, experiencing this sense of taking it personally would be to say, here's a draft. I've just put this draft together. I still have some things that I need to change, little tweaks here and there. So it's not the finished work, so if you could give me some comments on it. Sometimes for me, that's a helpful approach. The other thing too is you can consider like a couple different versions of the video. You might try one that doesn't have a lot of graphics in it or other footage, or one that might have introducing yourself at a different spot. Try making a couple different versions of a video, and then seeing which one, gets better reactions. What I do personally is I have a Facebook group of people that are also video marketers and filmmakers. And these people are from all around the world. In fact, I had a colleague that was in, I think Sweden or Vienna, I think, but anyways, and he was doing video marketing for South Africa. So it was interesting. It was a little different. But what we would do is we would comment on each other's videos, and give each other, you know, some constructive feedback. There's other people too. So in that group, I can upload a video and say, you know, what do you guys think? You know, is there something that that strikes you as good or bad or whatever, and give them some background on what I'm trying to do. But so anyway, so finding a place to get feedback is really important. And then as far as publishing, so again, you know, we were talking about doing a website welcome video, and so a lot of times, I mean, these would be embedded on your website. They also could be like on a YouTube channel, like is a kind of a welcome to my YouTube channel. But you have, you know, you have YouTube, which is an excellent place, you know, in general for videos, if you want to grow kind of a community and a fan base, you know. So people who have like how-to series, or they're providing tips, you know, even like real estate agents, you know, tips on buying a home or selling a home, even you know, doctors, plastic surgeons, I mean, lawyers, you know, basically providing some, you know, content to people, you know, and encouraging them, you know. So, you know, you can do research to find out what the trends are, you know, that the types of things that people are having problems with. It could even be roofers or, you know, other types of things. You know, maybe there's been a lot of storms, you know, and so you're providing people with tips on, you know, what to look for a damaged roof. I mean, it's endless. But YouTube is a great place. It's YouTube, I mean, as you know, as you probably know, is owned by Google. So if you're able to do your keyword descriptions, your titles and your descriptions, and integrate all of those great keywords in there, the video SEO, search engine optimization, you can get a lot of traction from people, you know, who are looking for that specific content. Like I said, like just as I'm always looking for things, you know, like if I have problems with a program, and I can just type in, you know, this is happening to me, and then it comes up in Google as a YouTube video. So you can make that work for you as well. So Facebook works really well, like if you're, again, natively uploading the video. So you wouldn't publish it on YouTube first and then put the link on there. You would natively upload. And the idea for that is because you're going to get a lot more engagement. Instagram works really well for specific industries. LinkedIn is excellent. I couldn't, if you're a B2B, I highly recommend, you know, having a presence on LinkedIn. It's very, very important. And also because you can really do precision targeting. So if you're using the Sales Navigator, you can really isolate out specific audiences. TikTok is a new one. My son really likes this, 11-year-old, but like younger audiences, it's a new platform. Like I mentioned, Wistia for website embedding, and we'll look at that hopefully at the end if we have time, but I wanted to show you that. It's a way for people to be able to stay on your website without clicking on YouTube and going off. Now with YouTube, if you link a video on your website, I mean, it doesn't necessarily automatically take them off the page, but what happens is they can click on that YouTube link to watch on YouTube, and also YouTube will offer them recommended videos after they watch your video. And you can set that up in your YouTube channel so that it recommends, you know, where it goes to another video of yours. But for website embedding, I really highly recommend Wistia, and it's free. You can have 3 videos on their console for free. Vimeo is great for like portfolio type content. So it doesn't have any ads on it. It works really well. So each of these platforms also then has information that's available to give you specific insights on like optimal resolution, video length, and other elements that will help you be successful. So So for video SEO, and I know I've thrown this word out again, it's search engine optimization. So all of the text-based elements of your video. So like titles, the description. So like for YouTube, for instance, you're going to have a title, you're going to have a description, possibly you're going to have transcripts, which I recommend, especially nowadays. Like if you have video where if someone's going through their news feed at work, they're not going to have the sound on. And in fact, you know, I'm not really getting into this because it would add to the time on this webinar. It's almost take up a lot of time, but you know, I've found like lately as I'm going through my news feed and I'm looking at different videos, the ones that have transcripts on them, you know, are really helpful because I can kind of get a sense of what the video is about, and I don't have to listen to it. So like in dentist's office or doctor's offices, you know, you're not going to have the sound on, you know, while you're working, or, you know, you might also not have the sound on. So transcripts are really easy to do. I do have there's a site that I use, and I have it in the resource page at the end, and I will be providing these slides for you. So I'm going to be putting them into kind of a PDF format, and so we'll be providing these to you. But the website I wanted to mention for transcripts is called Temi, TEMI.com. And so what you do is once you have your video and all of your, you know, it's all set, then you upload that video to Temi.com. It costs 1 cent a minute. And what they do is they will transcribe it for you and put together, you know, all of the spoken parts. And then you can download it as what's called an SRT file. And the SRT file then can be then uploaded to, you go back into your video editing program, or if you're on YouTube, you can upload this SRT file. And what it's done is it's put all of the words that you've said in with the right, you know, timeline. So, so people then can read as you're talking, and you can adjust this in the video editor. So, but the other thing is that is all indexed by Google and Bing and all the search engines. So all of that textual elements, the titles, the description, the transcripts, those are all things that are indexed. And so when people are searching for things, then that is all something that, you know, is brought into the mix. So, and what really helps here, it is essential then, is that as you're doing your titles, descriptions, and putting your script together, you want to use keywords effectively. So you want to determine, you know, which keywords are being searched in your geographic area. And I have an example here with the toothbrush commercial that I did. You know, the resource I use for this is the Google Keyword Planner tool. And this is a free resource, and you can use it to check out short tail, long tail, individual keywords. And there's a lot of information on SEO and video SEO. So I really encourage you to learn more about it. So there's a lot of free YouTube tutorials out there, you know, so you can learn, you know, how to put together keywords and all of that, you know. So it's a big topic. So examples from this toothbrush commercial would be, you know, like germ-free toothbrush, hygienic oral care solution. So what I did was I used the keyword planner to find out which keywords were getting the most engagement. So, you know, which ones you can actually see figures on, this keyword is being searched this number of times. And so you can find out, like, if there's some that are higher or lower. The keyword planner is meant to be like, if you're going to do Google ad campaign, like a paid ad campaign, then, you know, that's what it's all under. It's under the Google AdWords type of thing. So you would have to set up a little bit of an account, but you don't have to pay anything to use that keyword tool. And there are other tools that are available, so it's not just that one. But so here's an example. When I do commercials for people, then I put together, like, if this with this toothbrush commercial, my client was going to use it on his existing YouTube channel and LinkedIn accounts. And so I put together some ideas for him, you know, to use and to adjust as he needed to, depending on how that was going to perform for him. So the primary title, the Kiss Me Fresh Germ-Free Premium Toothbrush. I have the germ-free in there, a premium toothbrush. Secondary title. And what I had him do was to test out different versions to see which ones, you know, would perform better. So, but I went ahead then and I integrated you know, different keywords. I mean, SmackDown was actually his word he wanted to use. We ended up changing that up in the last one, but and then definitely a call to action. And if you wanted to see this video, you can go to my Vimeo channel, vimeo.com at Imagine Road, and then you can kind of see what that looks like. So let's just, in the last 12 minutes, I just really quick want to get it, and there's so much information here, but again, we're going to provide these slides for you. But when you're looking at your results and analyzing them, you know, keep in mind that fewer people are likely to reach that 100% mark than reach the 25% mark. So that's completely normal. It doesn't mean that your video is a failure because people aren't watching it all the way through. And again, that's why we're talking about that first 5 seconds being really crucial. Videos that are just a minute long have the highest viewer retention, up to the 30-second mark, just 80% so retention. So it seems kind of a convoluted sentence. So anyway, so the longer, you know, the less retention over the. So relatively long videos that drag on for 5 to 10 minutes have just over 50% retention, according to this blog. Now the thing about it is, again, it just depends on the audience you're going after. So I have a training video that was about 12 minutes long. It wasn't meant for people that didn't know anything about me. It was meant for people who I had already qualified. And so so it really, because it didn't have a lot of views, you know, the people that did view it were people that you know, had a higher likelihood of contacting me. So video views are not as important as having the right people watch your video. So with a longer video, like I said, you might get less views, but the people watching are more qualified. So that's really important. The general rule is use shorter videos for unqualified viewers, like Facebook, Instagram, emails, LinkedIn, and longer videos for more qualified viewers, like website videos, training videos, that type of thing. So you know, so when you look at your metrics, and again, you know, you want to look at specific things, and I think we might have just a quick chance to go through this at the end, but you're looking at total views, click-through rates, conversions, social media engagement, people that are engaging with your content, likes, shares, comments, retweets. It's really important, like if you're doing YouTube channel videos, you know, to engage your audience, like with questions, or sometimes that helps, like to keep them, you know, all the way to the end. Like if you're here to the end, I have a surprise for you, or we have a special guest at the end, or something, you know, to keep them engaged. But if they can comment or like or share, the other thing is that your video then will get more views. So your video will be shared more by YouTube, you know, if it's engaged with, you know. So if no one engages with it, no one likes it, no one comments, you won't get as much traction with it, you know, as you would if it was the other way around. Once you collect the data, you want to analyze it and make decisions about future videos. So, and here's some different things to note. So if your videos have a high number of views, but no engagement, no one is commenting or sharing or liking, then you've touched on the right topic, but maybe your tone or messaging was off. So those are things that you might want to adjust. If your videos have a high level of social media engagement, people are commenting and liking, then your audience is telling you they want more of the same. So if you see high levels of engagement, but your conversion rate is low, so you're not getting as many clicks to your website or to wherever you want them to go. And you can measure this with Google Analytics as far as you know, where your traffic is coming from. You can set that up very specifically. But if that's not happening, if you're not getting the conversions, then what you might need to do is bolster your call to action. You might need to have something that's grabbing them, you know, just changing it up, experimenting, doing something different. If your videos don't have many views nor engagement, then what you want to do is find new ways to promote the video, like social media posts or dedicated email campaigns. And if after a second round of promotion, your video metrics remain stagnant, then you need to revisit your buyer persona and reconsider your video topics. So I've had clients, you know, that wanted me to put video together, and I did put videos together, and they put it up on their YouTube channel, for instance, but that was it. You know, they were hoping that, you know, by putting it up on the YouTube channel, you know, it would be good to go, you know, and everybody would watch it, you know, and people would click on the link and all of that. But and also they didn't really you know, want to look at redoing things or reconfiguring things to change up the message. And so you know, and so I guess what I'm trying to say is that, you know, if your video isn't performing, you know, you need to you know, you need to first of all try to change the messaging to see, you know, how you're gonna get engagement from viewers. And if that's not working, I mean, you also then need to promote it, and that needs to be and it takes time to do that, I guess is what I'm trying to say. It takes consistency and perseverance, and you know, it's not going to happen automatically. So again, you need to pay attention to those numbers before you spend time and resources to record your next set of videos. And it's always important to have fresh video content, and not to put something up there and hope that, you know, it's going to eventually perform for you, because, you know, it might need some tweaking and adjusting. And so by measuring and analyzing, it'll help you make a greater impact on your audience. So the other thing, like I said before, is to consider split testing, to try different messaging and angles, and then compare, you know, these metrics. But the important thing is, and analysis is something that's ongoing. So it's never a one and done type of thing. So here's kind of an example of a person I'm working with. I'm actually filming him tomorrow. Well, before I go on, let me just ask you, are there any questions at this point? I'm sorry, again, I went for 20 minutes without stopping.
You've been doing a great job. It appears you've answered everyone's questions as we come.
Oh, great! Oh, great!
All's good.
Okay, great. So this is you know, just a couple examples of people, you know, of putting it all together. David Benjamin is a novelist from Madison. I'm actually going to be filming him. He just released a new book tomorrow, and so we're going to be doing a little bit of a longer video for his website. So the past 3 years, what we've done is we've put together a YouTube channel and video content, mostly for his website. And that's included interviews, book overviews, and feature stories. He put together his own imprint, and so a lot of the marketing that he does, you know, is on his own. He doesn't have like a book publisher or publicist that really does a lot of marketing for him. So, but if you want to see a good video that kind of highlights two-angle filming using two different camera angles, you can go to his website, lastkidbooks.com. Here's a local person that when I first put together this webinar for SCORE, I was able to reach out to a woman. Her name's Tina, and she's with Red Door Mercantile. And I talked to her a little bit about how she's using video, for her store. And she wrote, a bunch of different things as far as, what strategy she's using. She started out and continues to does videos with honesty, joy, and letting people know what we have in different areas of the shop. But she puts together a lot of videos of, different items that they have and kind of promotes it that way. So, but here are some resources, that I'll just, and again, we'll have this slide for you, but I have some resources here. I do a lot of voiceover. So if you ever need a voiceover, and this would be that section where, when to call in a professional. Sometimes you might need like a model or an actor or someone. I've used the Bell Agency in Green Bay. There might be a local agency that, you could check into. The university is another good location. The theater department, sometimes, you can find people there, that are easier to work with and are probably affordable. But even hiring like talent, like the Bell Agency, very affordable solution. And so, like I said, voiceover, sometimes you don't want, you just want to have footage, but you want to have kind of a narrator. Audio editing, I mentioned Audacity is a free tool that I use. It's really good. There are others out there that, are not that expensive. Music, YouTube Creator, I use a lot, bensound.com, Pond5. Graphic design, if you don't have someone that, Photoshop is a great program to use, but sometimes it does require a little training. But Fiverr and Upwork are great places sometimes to get real affordable graphic design. Like I said, Temi.com is great for transcripts. Images, I've used Pixabay and Pexels, and those are free. You can find a lot of really good graphics. I also have an account with Adobe Stock, and so they allow you with, like for 10 images per month, it's like $32 a month. Stock video, I've used Video Blocks. Sorry about that garbage truck in the background. Pexels, Stock Video, Google Keyword Planner. And then finally, there's I offer a free strategy session. If you need some help, getting some ideas, or you want to put something together, and I can give you some tips and kind of put together a roadmap for you. And I can also, if you decided that you needed help, I can tell you what that might look like after, figuring out exactly, what you want to do. So anyway, that, I think that's got it. With, the YouTube channel and with Wistia, I invite you and encourage you to check it out. There's a lot of tutorial videos out there. It's something that, once we get into it, probably would take another 15 minutes to really go through all of the different things. But there are a lot of tutorial videos out there, that you can check out on that.
Okay, well, great, Michael. Thank you very much. 2 great hours of a lot of information to bring in, and I mean, I'm one of those people who need a lot of help.
Mm-hmm.
Michael is there to help you. So those of you who are listening in, if you need that advice, I would certainly take Michael up on his offer to consult with him. Image is everything, and putting out a professional image of your organization is critical. So I would definitely be looking for that kind of assistance. So again, we're hoping that we can work with Michael in the future again with additional programming coming up here in the fall. He's with Imagine Road Productions. Great job. We've recorded this program. It'll be on our website, and the slide deck will be available, and we'll be getting that out to those that have listened in. So again, on behalf of the Chamber, Michael, thank you very much for helping us out over the last 2 weeks. Great programming, and we will be looking forward for more stuff out of you in the future. So thanks again.
Okay, thanks.
All right.
Take care. everybody.
Right. Bye all.